Well, folks, I just had an argument with my producer Ben, and we screamed at each other. He didn't really scream, but I was yelling at him about a nonsensical technical matter, and I was very upset at him. And there's no reason that I was as upset as I was. He rolled his eyes at me, and asked something, and then he said, "I have 12 podcasts." Like he didn't care about this, or that this one didn't mean anything to him or wasn't special. And Ben is trans, and it's something that it's why I hired him. And I said I don't want another statistic right now, because I could very easily just kill another trans person, and he would just be a meaningless statistic, and I don't want that. So we decided to make up. I think I threatened him. I was like, "I'll destroy you." He produces another podcast from Lunatic Woman. I'm like, "I'll take that from you." He was like, "What?" But it got me thinking about BetterHelp, folks. Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Is there? Yes. If so, BetterHelp Online Counseling is here for you. BetterHelp offers licensed professional counselors. Who's to say they're not? Can you prove they're not? You can't prove that the text bubble on the other side of that screen is not a doctor. I'm sure. Listen, people have actually used this. People, because my audience needs help. Let's be honest. My audience is basically a few weeks out of prison, and they've actually used this service and they like it because they do have really good counselors that specialize in depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, anger, which would have been good for me and Ben, who were just angry at each other because we'd gotten into it was like a clerical issue. It was not a big deal, but Ben was kind of being like pouty. See, when you're good looking, what happens is you get pouty. I could never get pouty. It's just not. I have to get angry because otherwise I would look like a lunatic. If a person who's not good looking or a little bigger, big frame, big boned, a rotund individual gets pouty, you look like you've had a stroke or something's wrong. But when you're skinnier and better looking, you can kind of pout and you get like very like, I don't know, like you're wrong. But I have to get angry and start yelling and screaming because that's the only way that I can process emotion. Whereas Ben can kind of get like, well, you just don't know what I go through, and then he just kind of pouts and he rolls his eyes, So BetterHelp, folks. This is what you deal with BetterHelp. He's looking at me now like this is exactly what this ad should be. You get angry at people. Why do I yell and scream when I'm angry? I don't know. Is it because fucking, nobody in this industry has ever helped me? And if I had fucking, real fucking balls, I'd go get a fucking AK and show up somewhere and show everybody. No, I mean, I'm joking around. Kidding. You know why I don't do that? You know why I don't grab an AK-47 and go down Melrose popping off everyone? Because of BetterHelp. Okay? Visit betterhelp.com/Tim Dillon. You get 10% off your first month. Okay? I'm not going to do anything crazy because of BetterHelp. I don't have time to go sit down with an actual shrink or therapist. But BetterHelp/Tim Dillon, you get 10% off your first month. This is good. I've used this. Okay? I've got a busy schedule. I'm a busy guy. I got a lot going on. I have at least 3 hours of work a day to do. And then the rest of that is spent kind of plotting and laying and converting, all the hatred and the bile that's inside of me, that sludge from Ghostbusters that went through the subway systems, I got to get rid of that and I got to make it funny or get rid of it. So I go to BetterHelp, the fucking our girl with the coffee's at the door. All right, we're gonna let her in now. But I mean, we made up. We're fine now. Everybody's good. I hope. I don't know. You never know with Ben because Ben could be harboring. He could be angry and not let you know, and because he'll keep it in because he's that Christian shit. They keep it in. They don't say anything. It's very passive aggressive. They keep it all in. Because they were raised Christian. So everybody's got to fucking Everybody's got to keep everything in, and everything's very dark and biblical, and they only let it out when they have to. I let it right out. It comes right to the top, and it's done. But Ben will hold this against me for 6 years. 6 years. So BetterHelp, everybody. Go to BetterHelp or don't. Fuck off. I talked about a new business idea that I had earlier where I was going to open a tropical resort on the moon. And it's going to be like a resort, like a hotel, like a high-end tropical hotel. It's going to be on the moon, but it will not have a moon or a space theme. It will have a tropical theme. And because the rainforest is being burned on Earth, the only real rainforest you're going to get is at my resort on the moon. And I'm going to have a big resort, and a big resort is very complex to run. You got to run it, okay? That's why I'm going to use Monday.com, because Monday.com keeps everybody in line, okay? There's nothing worse than looking for emails and yelling at people, blaming people, screaming. That's not the way it's going to be. Monday.com is software that enhances the effectiveness of your business plan. It allows you to coordinate and collaborate with people. It is a fucking very easy to use tool that keeps everybody accountable. People, I will fire people at my tropical moon resort if they fuck up. I don't care. I'm not trying to hear your mouth. It doesn't matter to me. Do you understand me? I will straight up lose my mind and start screaming. I don't want to do that. I don't want to scream in the lobby because the whole thing is tropical relaxation, making people feel good. I don't want to have to go up to the front desk and start banging people's heads around, literally. But I will if they don't do what I want them to do, which is so important to have a thing like Monday.com. Many of you have business. It's perfect. Monday.com, if you're two people collaborating or there's thousands of people around the globe or in space like I'm going to have, it's a perfect tool to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Everybody's united. Everybody's connected. It's very important to me to have an efficient resort on the moon with a tropical theme. Okay. We're going to have maybe 800 guest rooms, and 200 of them are going to be suites. The guest room is going to cost $1 million a night. The suite's going to be $5 million a night. And the suites are going to have a separate room for you to kind of relax and sit. It'll have a separate sitting room, and it'll probably have a balcony or a terrace, but the guest rooms will not have that. The suites will and then there will be villas. The villas are above suites. And the villas, and because this is very complex, in order to keep this all going, you need Monday.com. Okay, if you have a business out there and you're disorganized, Monday.com is essential. We're starting to use it here. We're building a little tiny business right now with a podcast, just trying to entertain people, getting people out to live shows. But that's not my main goal. My main goal is to open a tropical resort on the moon within 5 years. And it will happen, but it's only going to happen if I stay organized and efficient. A lot of people out there are not organized. I used to work in a mortgage company, and a lot of people, you'd always be like, Doreen, where's that email? And Doreen would know because she's stupid, right? She'd be like, I don't know where it is. I just saw it. And then you're like, oh, fuck, my life is over because I can't get to what I need to get to. That's not good. I don't have time for that when I'm running a 1,000-room resort on the moon. I'm not going to have time for that. I'm going to need people to be efficient. You understand what I mean? Another thing I'm going to have is I'm going to have big fish tanks, because there's not fish in outer space, but people are going to want to feel comfortable because when people go to the moon, they're going to be like, I feel like I'm not on Earth, which is good because that's why they're traveling, but they're going to want some comforts, creature comforts, things that remind them of home. Fish tanks. Okay. So I'll have fish tanks. And I might have dogs and cats to make people feel like they're at home. And we might do the thing where if you want a dog or a cat sent to your room for an hour to pet, we're going to be able to do that. And we're going to have an email system, and we're going to be able to make sure that all of the scheduling is efficient. And so that if you request a dog, you're like, hey, send a lab up to room 1512. And I send one up, and you're like, oh man, I feel like I'm at home. I was weirded out when I first got here because I was on the moon, but now I'm not weirded out. I'm really enjoying this because you sent up a lab, maybe a chocolate lab or a golden lab, and it's a, beautiful dog. Or a cat, you send up a cat, and cats are kind of vicious and cold, but still there's something about them that makes you feel at home. And that's important. That's what the whole resort's about. It's you're far away from home, but are you? That's the whole thing, but are you? That's really what I want you to feel. You don't really know. You'd be like, oh, fuck, I feel like I'm on a tropical resort, a 2-hour plane ride from my house, but not. You're in the middle of space. You're in outer space at my tropical moon resort. And it's going to be called Paradise on the Moon. And I mean, a lot of people doubt me, and a A lot of people don't take me seriously when I tell them this, specifically Uber drivers, but that's okay because that's what your rating is based on, not your driving. It's do you lend credibility to my dreams or not? And if you kind of laugh at me when I say this, not only will I rate you low, but I'll try to make you get in an accident in a way that will only hurt you and not me. So Monday.com, what's the promo code here?
Monday.com/Tim.
Monday.com/Tim. If you have a business and you want to be effective, you want to be efficient, you want to keep track of where all these emails are going, where all these appointments are going, if you're in sales, marketing, anything you're doing, if you're running a resort on the moon, whatever it happens to be, you're going to need a business plan. Monday.com is a software that allows you to streamline everything you're doing. It's so much easier. It makes it very simple. So that's really what we're trying to do. So if you're into that, if you're trying to be somebody, I think Monday.com/Tim is the way to do it. Go there and start thinking about squeezing more money out of your business, holding people accountable. Because I can tell already, like my first speech I'm going to give to my staff, I'm going to walk into the hotel. I'm going to say, this is my dream. And they're all going to look at me and they're going to be amazed. And I'm going to say, this is my dream. And I'm going to say, because we have Monday.com, we're going to hold you accountable. You're not going to get away with nothing here. You're not getting away with it. Don't tell me you didn't get a message or that you lost an email or didn't know when a meeting was going to be. Because we'll throw you right in a black hole. We'll throw you in outer space. Because I'm going to have the staff sign waivers that they understand that we can remove them from the resort. And then once you're out of the resort, you're kind of on your own in space. And a lot of people aren't going to be able to do it. So that it is real. Like the threat of doing bad is real. It's not fake. It's not like one of those things where you just quit, whatever, because where are you going to go? Jupiter's not hospitable to life. So Monday.com, there should be no excuses. You understand me? So Monday.com/Tim. And if you're interested in my Paradise on the Moon resort, we'll be making a formal announcement pretty soon. And a lot of people are trying to do this. Richard Branson and like Bezos and all those guys, but I'm not afraid of them because none of them understand how to make people feel at home on another planet. And I do. I get it. Because we're going to have like the best thing I think sometimes about a hotel is you have a breakfast, a buffet, and we're going to have like a breakfast buffet. And it's going to be awesome. And one of the things that's going to make it different from other breakfast buffets is that it's going to be on the moon and you're going to have big windows as you eat breakfast that look out into space. And that's going to be fucking nice. Like a lot of people don't do that. Like the buffet room is like it almost looks like a conference room, but ours is going to be very nice with huge windows that look out onto a space station so that when you're eating a waffle with your family, you're like, what should we do today? There's going to be activities, but I don't want to go into all that because I don't want people copying my shit. You're going to get a free 14-day trial if you go to Monday.com/Tim. Thank you. Everybody, let's talk a little bit about physical conditioning. I know that we may not do that as much as other podcasts do, but it's very important. We really don't go into wellness and mind, body, spirit connection as much as we should. But, that's really important. And I think people that have happy, successful lives all seem to have some kind of deeply rooted understanding of how their body works. And when it's, when it's at maximum levels of efficiency and, what fuel the body needs. And these are all very important things. And I think we don't do enough about that. And that's my fault. That's really on me. I'm the captain of the ship. And a lot of times we get lost, but there's a lot out there. And I want to start, when we talk about the body, I want to start with the balls. Because there's a lot going on. And there's a lot that needs to be addressed. Um, a lot of people need to clean up their area down there. I bought a house in 2007 with a subprime mortgage uh, during a cocaine binge. That house has been foreclosed on. I have lost it. The legal proceedings have been completed. It was taken, it was a collateral, and the house was, repossessed, and I no longer own it, clearly, and my credit has been decimated because of that. And I guess the debt was written off. I don't really, it's neither here nor there. The point is that house had about an acre of property, and that acre of property was untamed, wild, Long Island grass. Big raccoon lived in a tree in the backyard and used to walk around the backyard. But if you looked at the lawn, you would know what was going on in that house, which was a lot of pain. You would see the lawn and you would say, this gives me a very good indication of what's happening in that house, which was nothing good. Bills piling up by the door that nobody was opening and nobody was paying. Just a tiny bit of fuel, just enough fuel to keep that house going, no more. People could see that. They could sense it. They could see the fear and the desperation just by looking at the wild, overgrown, unmanaged lawn. So when we talk about your dick, your private area, your balls, your taint, your grundle, you need to keep these things where people look at them and they go, oh, that's a respectable individual that takes care of himself and takes care of others. This is somebody I want to build a relationship with, maybe a life with. Maybe this is somebody I want to have children with because they have taken care of themselves. Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. Their invention is the Lawnmower 2.0. Skin-safe technology. I used to, before, I would hook up with somebody that I met on Grindr or whatever back in the day on Craigslist. I would have to try to manscape myself with, something. And every now and then you would nick yourself. And now it's embarrassing. And sometimes you'd have to just not go and meet up with that person because you're bloody. And that's not the move. You never want to show up with a bloody dick. So what you try to do is, you basically have to be very, very careful. And that's why this new Manscaped Lawnmower 2.0 is great, because it has skin-safe technology. Okay? It is small, easy to hold, and designed to get into all your nooks and crannies without snagging your sack. You do not want to puncture your scrotum. Okay? No more using the same trimmer on your face that you use on your fucking junk. Use the right tools for the job. Manscaped is designed with your junk in mind. You know how it gets down there in the summer, sweaty, stinky. A lot of people like that, A lot of people don't want you to shower. They want to get the whole you, They want to get smacked in the face with a little bit of salt, a little bit of salted caramel. Some people don't. Some people want you to deodorize every part of your body, but it's like, what the fuck is the point? Are you trying to fuck a chemical? Trying to fuck a person? This is neither here nor there. Again, but it's just I'm just editorializing on a concept. But just in time for summer, they've got the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. If you're one of these people that is ashamed of your own scent, or maybe your partner doesn't want, you got to ease somebody in to really smacking them with a sweaty ball. So you should start with a moisturizer and a deodorizer. After you've been in a relationship for a little while, then you can take the hog out in any condition and just smack him around with it. But in the beginning, you got to get him in with a low interest rate, let's say. So it smells nice, and it's nice. And one of the things here in this ad, they say, you put deodorant on your pits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a little different, but some people like gross armpits too. I mean, listen, buy this product because most people don't. Most people don't want sweaty, smelly balls, but there are people that do. They want that. Okay. But what's nice is giving someone that choice. But nobody wants too much bush. This is the fact. Nobody wants too much bush. Nobody wants, there's that fat cat I have on Instagram, Oscar, and his fur grows so much that he gets burrs stuck in it. These little spiky, I don't know where they come. I think they come from a tree. But he gets the burrs stuck, and he's got fleas and mites. He has an entire ecosystem living on him, like the sloth. If you've ever been the sloth in the Amazon, British people say sloth, and I like that. But the sloth has an entire ecosystem of bugs living on him. He is a host for an entire community of bugs, which I think is kind of nice. I like things like that. I find life fascinating. I've always wanted to go to the Amazon, and but you have to have you got to get a lot of shots, and I don't have the money to go to Ohio. So what I'm saying is that the bush needs to go. Ball deodorant moisturizer, that's great, but somebody also might be like, hey, with all due respect, let's not take a shower. Just hit me with whatever you got. Listen, this is, some people are into this, but I'm just saying. Get 20% off free shipping with the code Tim at manscaped.com. Literally, they just sent me one of these things, the lawnmower. It is amazing. It is, you never feel better when you are shaving your balls. You feel safe. You feel like you can do it hammered. I don't suggest that, but you feel like you can do it drunk. It's you feel like you could just kind of freestyle it down there, and you're not going to nick yourself because they really do have this advanced technology. It really is good. You do need to shave your balls. The Norelco body groom's not that great. That's what usually everybody else kind of uses. It's not that great. The body groom, I'm telling you, I've used it. And I'm telling you, it's a big deal. Tim is the code. 20% off manscaped.com. That's 20% off free shipping, manscaped.com. If you're not getting laid and you want to get laid, you got to clean up your dick. Doesn't really matter how big your dick is, It doesn't really matter. There are people that are going to want bigger dicks. That's a fact. There are people that are going to be into that, lots of them. But the obsession about dick size is probably a waste of time because there's nothing you can really do about it unless that product advertises on the show, and then we'll, fix that for you. But as of right now, it seems like you get what you get. But what you can do is really, you've all been to a house that's not that great, but they've done a lot of work. You know what I mean? Where you walk in the house and they're really proud of it. It's kind of sadder in a way, but they're really proud of it. And the yard's very nice. You've ever been to a small yard that's immaculate and you go, oh, this is nice, because they take pride in where they live. That's the way you should feel about your cock and balls. Can be big. Maybe it's a big, beautiful, big, maybe you got a big, huge, ribeye steak down there. Maybe you have a petite filet mignon, an 8-ounce filet that a divorced school teacher would order with a Kendall Jackson Chardonnay. It's not my business. Or maybe you have a big porterhouse for 3 at Peter Luger's. You just want to swing it. I've seen certain penises where I go, that person's life should be amazing. Like there's no excuse for that person. But then some of them don't have good lives because they just have this big dick and they play with it and then they fuck whatever they want and they don't get any other skills because their dick is so huge that it's amazing. I'm just saying this is what happens. Now, so what I'm saying is this. If you have a dick that you don't love, do Manscaped. Get yourself in the right, deodorize your balls, okay? Women don't want smelly balls. If men don't really care, probably. Men will fuck you with whatever. Women, for the most part, unless you get a real freak, a real, like from dusk till dawn vampire type of, and that's what, kind of what you want. Not to marry, but, for an hour. So you got to deodorize your balls, moisturize them because people want a soft, nice ball, This is this is what I meant when I said we wanted to do more about health and wellness. This is really the direction we wanted to go into. I didn't know if you thought we were going to start talking about intermittent fasting, but clean the area up. You know, it's very interesting. This is all I can tell you, folks. Tim is the code, 20% off manscaped.com, and send in photos to the show, before and after photos. Before you've trimmed yourself and after you've trimmed yourself, send in photos to the show. And we'll be the judge. We'll see how you've done. We will not comment on the size of your penis. We will simply address everything else that's going on. And we'll be like, look at this. Nicked himself. The balls look moisturized. You got to moisturize your balls, folks. Got to deodorize and moisturize those balls. Do it. Really get this. The fucking, you need this. Here's the thing. You need it. And the other thing on the market, the Norelco thing, isn't good. And then there's really nothing else. I'm telling you, there's not a lot out there, especially if you're a bigger person, you're a fat person, you need to do this. It's not a negotiation. I'm just saying, nobody wants a fucking crop of disgusting hair. You want a nice, like, fit, trim area. Or, you're being an incel. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, those guys seem to enjoy it. I mean, there's, certainly some of them in the audience, huh? If I compliment Whitney Cummings or something, these people lose their minds. They take it as a direct attack to them, that I have recognized another woman as a human being on Earth. They can't handle it. They start flipping out. Got to attack her. Who are you? What is this? These rules, they hate gay people, but they only want to spend time and talk to men. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting breed. Dudes that want to just spend time with other dudes and suck each other off. You might as well. What are you doing? You're wasting time. You're playing video games all day. You might as well fucking get off. Otherwise, you're going to have to learn to speak to a member of the opposite sex. And that means deodorizing your balls, shaving them. Get in the game, boys, girls. This isn't for girls, is it? Who cares? If you're a girl that's a boy, do this. What do I don't care. Don't start with me now. Do you need a dick to be a boy? Maybe not. Shave your clit with this. That's not what it's for, but I can't tell you how to live. Do what you want. Whatever. Maybe you have a penis that was made out of a clit. Maybe you have a vagina that was made out of a penis. I don't know. It's 2019 and everybody is having fun. So, manscaped.com, promo code Tim. Thank you.